Okay, are we on?
Yeah, good to go live. 5 seconds if you're ready.
Oh, okay, I'm on now. I'm not on. Should I restart?
Yeah, we start.
Let me restart. I thought we were already on.
I'm not getting any audio. I was getting audio from you.
Okay, try it now.
I can't get any audio on your end.
You can't get any audio?
Not the music. I can hear you talking, but not the music.
Really?
Not the music again?
Yeah, I'm playing the music now.
No.
It's on right now.
Yeah, I'm only getting the music, but I'm not getting any.
Oh, man.
Lead vocals, no music. I think other people getting it as well. Yeah, Chris Walker says no music.
Say again?
Yeah, it looks like there's people aren't getting music.
They are? Okay. But let's see what we can do here. So you can hear the mic, but you can't hear the music.
Yeah, I can't hear any music, but I can hear your mic when you talk on there.
Okay, hold on. KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. We are an NBC affiliate here in Southern California. Hello, once again, everybody. I'm Eric J. Chambers, and welcome to a new edition of the CUT Chronicles, where we chronicle urban life. I am so delighted to have this special edition of the CUT Chronicles. It's the Jazzspel edition, and of course, it's because of my Jazzspel radio program that turns 31 years old this week. And tonight we have a special one for the family. And of course, again, as I said, the 10th of July, the Jazzspel, of course, we debuted that in San Diego on Smooth Jazz, KIFM 98.1. And of course, over the years, I've been blessed to play some of my favorite artists, including my all-time favorite band that is joining me right here tonight. That band, formerly called Maze, but now they're called TMF. And of course, we're going to have right now my man Rome Lowry. Rome, welcome to the CUT Chronicles and the Jazzspel.
Thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure having you on board. First of all, tell me, how is life for you guys? I know you recently did a cruise, Dave Coz's cruise.
Yeah, we had a great time. Met some really talented musicians and made some new friends. Had a wonderful time. We crossed the Antarctic Circle, but it was a great experience.
Awesome. I saw some of the videos that your publicist Nell posted on Facebook, and it looked like you guys were having an amazing time. And I saw that my girl Mesa even got a chance to perform with you guys, which I understand was a dream come true for her.
Yeah, we had a great time, and she did a great job.
Awesome. Rome, tell us, you are the last living member of my all-time favorite group, Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly. What does that mean to you, man? You know, the longevity, just still being around.
It means everything. I met Frankie in '69. I met him through the bass player. They were then the Butlers.
Okay.
And I was playing the flute then. I was a jazz guy. And I sat in, and of course, the flute wasn't required in the music they were playing. And instead of Frank saying, "Hey, it was nice to meet you," and me not see him again, we connected. You know, sometimes you meet people and there's a real solid connection. You know, it's something very special. And that happened with Frank and I. And he asked me, was there anything else I could play? And I knew how to play congas. And the rest is history. We lived together in Philly until '72, and then we moved to California. But my whole journey, as my brother, we were very tight, my best friend. And I'm here today because of that relationship.
And I understand you were the man who named the group Maze. They were called Raw Soul before, and of course, my man Marvin Gaye was like, "I love the band, but
Yeah,
you to
that's
do something
true.
with that
That's
name."
true. Marvin was, in fact, he was the reason why we got our first record deal with Capitol Records. And he loved the group. We were Raw Soul then, as you said, and he hated the name. And we were just throwing out names, and I came up with the name Maze, and it
What
stuck.
was the
And
inspiration for that, for the name Maze?
well, at that particular time, we were doing music, and the music as it is today would take you kind of through a journey of emotions and feelings, depending on what song it was. But the songs was a journey, and it kind of related because it did take you out of different feels and emotions. And again, to this day, there's some Maze anthems before I let go. But yeah, it was a total connection.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, my man, for having the foresight to come up with the name Maze. It's a fantastic name. And then, of course, I remember it was like a fist, the logo. It was like
Yeah.
what, 6 fingers or something like that?
Well, actually, it was a seven-fingered hand for seven members.
Okay, seven.
And it
Okay.
was an actual maze. You can go in at the thumb and come out at the last finger.
Okay.
It was an authentic maze. Thanks to
Awesome.
the art director from Capitol Records. Great idea.
Well, I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I live out here in Southern Cal. This is my 43rd year. But you guys did your live at the Sanger Theater. Man, I wanted to go to that concert so bad.
Well, now I see why we're your favorite band. New
Absolutely.
Orleans was a second home to me. And you know that. We closed the Essence for 10 years straight, and you see what they did in honoring Frank when he passed, the funeral, that procession. I mean, New Orleans, we love that town, the culture, everything. It was
You
just,
see, it's almost illegal to be from New Orleans and not love some maize. You might get 3 to 5 years in
yeah,
the pen for not loving some maize now.
yeah. And that album is our best album to this day, Live at the Sanger.
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Frankie back in the late 90s. This is a picture, as you can see, is here.
Oh, okay.
And that was
Right
at
on.
Reve Gibson's mom's repast.
Okay.
And it was the first time I ever saw him. And I was like, man. And then I ended up doing an interview with him, Rome, at at the at the repast,
Mhm.
because I was like, Lord, if I never get a chance to see him again or meet him again, I got to maximize this moment. So we stepped out, and I told him how big of a fan I was of his
Mhm.
music, and he decided, okay, I'll take some time with you. And I had him on the front cover of one of my magazines, the Jazzspel Journal magazine,
Uh-huh.
and he was really impressed with that. And so, but that was an opportunity of a lifetime. And ironically, I had met him on a couple of occasions, but that was a time where I had a chance to interview him. And I told him, and he loved this story. I met my wife, my daughter's mother. I met her 4th of July, 1998, at the Essence Music Festival, interviewing her and some of her friends about Frankie Beverly and Mays.
That's a beautiful connection.
It absolutely was, and he loved that
Wow.
story that I
Yeah.
met my wife interviewing her about my all-time favorite artist, and
Yeah.
that blessed him tremendously.
Yeah. He loved more than anything else, true to his music and the band as a family, but the fans. I mean, we have an incredible fan base. I mean, we hadn't recorded an album in over 30 years and still sell out everywhere we go. I mean, that's unheard of.
And
But
especially places like the Superdome in New
yeah,
Orleans, just like everybody else is setting the stage for Mays to close it out.
yeah.
And it was just remarkable to me that you're right. You guys hadn't recorded in so long, but man, you did not leave the Essence Music Festival until you saw Frankie Beverly and Mays.
All right. But yeah, we've created a maze culture, and we don't take that for granted. We thank everyone that supported us throughout our journey. It's been an incredible journey, and thanks to the fans, we have to give it to them, because without them, there's no Maze or TMF. So we appreciate that so much. We really,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But like I said, coming up in Louisiana, in fact, at that time when I did the interview with Frankie, I think they had done about 1 million sold at that time, and he was like
Mhm.
about 600,000 or 700,000 just came from the Louisiana
Yeah,
region alone.
yeah.
You know, so you guys were adopted homeboys there.
Homeboys.
Yeah, for the Maze, you guys were adopted New Orleans natives there.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of people thought we were from New Orleans, in
I know.
fact. And you know why that is because they love that slow groove. You know, the second line, when you think of that groove, it's right there in the middle. It's funky, sassy, you hear a little bluesy, and that's how we feel when we play the music, and it's sort of our style. So we understand how they adopted us and thought we were from New Orleans because of the music and how the music made you feel. And it was that
Absolutely.
strut.
And
It's
what did you think
nobody
of?
but people in New Orleans have that groove, have that second line. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. And what were your thoughts when you saw the second line funeral that they had for him there?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was something that touched my heart. I mean, I was just so emotional. But if anywhere, it would be New Orleans that would
Absolutely.
honor him that way. I mean, it was just something to behold. It really was.
Once again, everybody, I'm Eric J. Chambers. This is a special edition of the CUT Chronicles, where we chronicle urban life. We're talking to Rome Lowry. He's the founding member of Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly. Once again, my all-time favorite recording artist and favorite band. And I'm so delighted to have them here as we celebrate the 31st anniversary of the Jazzspel with Eric J. that debuted on July 10th, 1994. Now, Rome is also the founding member of another group. The group is called TMF, The Music Forever. And what we're going to do right now is bring on Chris Walker, who is the lead singer for that particular group. Different name, but the groove remains the same. Chris, welcome to the program, my man.
Thank you for having me.
What is it like being the lead guy for this group, and of course doing a lot of the songs that Maze did? Those are some some heavy boots you have to walk in there, huh?
This is true, but of course, God only made one Frankie Beverly, and I just try to do the best that I can with the gifts that God has given me.
That's right. And so what is this experience like for you to be able to carry the torch? Because it's kind of like a relay race to some degree. We lost Frankie on September the 10th of last year, but you were the guy who was next in line as far as this music and this particular band is concerned.
Well, to tell you the truth, I believe it was predestined, because I got my start in the business as Regina Bell's music director, and I was
Mm-hmm.
singing a duet in the show with her. And her first tour, we opened for Maze featuring Frankie Beverly for approximately a year. And oftentimes I would look side stage and Frankie would be standing there listening. And he would come up to me often and say, "Young man, you have a great voice. Keep doing what you're doing. One day you're going to make it." So fast forward to where we are now. During the pandemic, the Holy Spirit put it on my heart to post like 2 songs every week just to lift people's spirits. And I posted a few of Frankie and May's songs, and Nell actually saw a few of those posts, and they actually reached over like a million, 1.5 million people. So she showed it
Wow.
to Rome. And Rome said he showed it to the rest of the guys and said, "Hey man, do y'all know this guy?" And it turns out, of course, I knew Larry from years ago, and they said, "Yeah, we know Chris." So they reached out to me and invited me on a Zoom call, and but they didn't tell me why. Now, of course, the last thing on my mind was, being the lead singer. I didn't know. I thought he wanted me to sub for him on bass with Frankie or something. I didn't know. So anyway, so they said, we're vetting a few other singers, but we would like for you to consider being our lead vocalist. And true story, I started laughing. And I looked up and I said, guys, the search is over. Y'all don't have to look any further. Because I just believed that it was predestined to happen. And they called me back the next day and said, we're going with you. So I'm
Yes, sir.
honored and thrilled that they chose me,
And of course, you're from Houston, Texas, and I saw you guys had one of your first performances was there, huh?
Actually, our very first performance was in Atlanta at Chastain Park, opening for Anthony Hamilton.
Okay, I remember that too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
our very first performance.
What has the reception been like for you, Chris? And of course, you guys again just got off the wonderful cruise with Dave Cause.
The reception has been amazing, and obviously, audiences recognize the band's sound immediately. And as I've said before, they have nothing to prove, and all I do is ask audiences to give me a chance. And so far, everywhere we've gone, people want us to come back. So that's a pretty good sign that we're doing the music justice.
Well, I can't wait till you guys get a chance to come out here on the West Coast. I've seen a lot of the stuff that you guys have been doing, but nothing quite here in LA just yet. But I look forward to that. And of course, the band is Forever Maze, and I'm so glad that you guys, especially with you, Rome, are still there to carry on this legacy that was created more than 50 years ago in the Bay Area with Frankie Beverly and that chance meeting with Marvin Gaye. That must have been pretty exciting, man.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to continue to play May's music in our set. And also, we're going to mix it up with TMF music, of course. But we're going to do this because we know this is what Frank would want us to do, to continue playing the music everyone knows and loves.
Absolutely. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take our first station break. And when we come back, we'll continue on with the conversation right here with the fellas from the group called TMF and, of course, formerly called Maze. Back in a moment.
And it's TMF, the music forever.
Okay. KCAA 1050 AM 106.5 FM. We are an NBC affiliate here in Southern California. We're having a little bit of technical problems here, but we're getting through it. This is the sounds of TMF that you hear in the background here with my man Chris Walker, who's the lead vocalist on this, and we had a chance to play it just the other day. And there you go. Chris, how cool was this performing this song in front of your hometown?
Oh man, it was awesome, and the reception was great. You would think they've heard it a million times.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was thrilling.
Yeah, but your version was good. Man, and you hit that note, that opening note, that you held for.
Oh yes. Yes. Oh, okay, you're talking about that
This one
song.
right here.
Oh, okay, I can't hear it, but okay.
Okay.
Now I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. That opening note is look here. Either you're gonna swim or you're gonna sink. There's no in between.
That's right. But what we're going to do right now is bring on a couple more guys from the group, and we're going to get back to Rome in just a couple of moments.
Right.
Joining us right now is my man, Joy Woolfolk, I should say. Joy, welcome to the program, my man, and we'll bring Calvin Napper on as well, and Daniel. How about those guys?
All right.
Hello, man. How are you?
Wonderful. Great.
Okay, so tell us, what has this experience been like for you?
Well, with me, I'm I'm the newest guy. I'm the new kid on the block. I've been here now since early October of last year. I'm the lead guitarist, and it's phenomenal. It's incredible. Just to be a part, to play this, music that I've loved for years. Calvin Napper, whenever they used to play Chicago, he would always call me up and give me tickets to come to the concerts. And I would sit in the audience and I would be just totally blown away. And now, sometimes I get caught up in a moment. I'm on stage now. I'm on the other side. I'm actually on stage playing the music that I love so much. So it's really something. I love it. It's really something.
Your background is also in the gospel music industry, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, tell us who are some of the people that you've played with.
I've worked with Fred Hammond, BBCC Winans, Donnie McClurkin, Yolanda Adams, Kirk Franklin.
Okay.
I've pretty much everybody. Not everybody, but there's been a whole bunch in the gospel industry.
And so for 13 years, you were part of Maze with Frankie B.
No. I'm actually the new kid. I'm the new guy. I'm the new guitarist. So I've been here now since October of last year, 2024. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been here. So did you play with Maze as well?
No.
Okay, so you're mainly with TMF, huh?
Right.
And so that's been a great experience for you.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Okay, Calvin, you're the one, 13 years with Maze. How cool was that, my man?
Yes, sir. Real cool, man. Yeah, I actually started with Maze in September of 2010, and ironically, Eric, the day that I started with Maze it's actually the same day that Frankie transitioned. He transitioned on September 10th of 2024. I started in September 10th of 2010.
Wow, the anniversary of your joining the band.
Yeah, man. So yeah, but it's been an amazing journey, man. An incredible experience. I've learned a lot from working with Frank and stuff, man. And just the band, all the guys. I think as Joey said, it's like when he sat in the audience and kind of listened, and it's like when he was finally up there, and it was like, oh man, I can't believe I'm up here with these guys playing this music. It's kind of that same, it's the same kind of, vibe, man. So,
and of course, you have a gospel music background with Donnie McClurkin and John P. Key, Kirk Franklin, those guys, Shirley Caesar. So that must have been, to be able to go from them, but to be in such a staple band must have been awesome. What was it like for you performing in the Superdome at the Essence Music Festivals?
Oh man, wow! I remember the very first time we did it. It was late. The guys had always told me about how that went playing Essence, with the crowd and everything. And it's like, no matter how late it is to people, they just kind of stay, man. And I remember the first time we did it, and it was late, man. And when I walked out, we went to the stage, and it was like lights came up, and I see all these people in the Superdome, and it was just like, wow, like it was just, it was an incredible experience, man. But
Man, Maze was like the Beatles down in New Orleans.
it worked.
That's the experience that I got at the Essence Music Festival, and anytime they've come there.
Yeah. As Rome stated, you would have thought that a lot of people probably thought that they were from New Orleans, because of that groove. It had that medium kind of funky second line kind of thing, but yeah, New Orleans, those fans there, they're big Maze fans down there.
Absolutely. And of course, also joining us on the program is another one of the band members from TMF. His name is Daniel Witherspoon, I should say. Play keys and the organ. So you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so tell us what your experience has been like. Turn down the audio if you can.
Say again.
Turn down your just a little bit. I'm getting
Okay.
feedback.
All right, is that better?
Yeah. So tell us what it's been like being a part of this band. Of course, you were the news of Maze at the time.
Yeah, I was the last, as they say, the last hire before the band broke up. I got a phone call, and my story is kind of the same as Joy's. I would go to the concerts as well whenever they came through DC. Calvin and I have a lot of years of history together, so whenever they would come to town, I would go check them out. And there was always this running joke that I was going to sit in or cover a couple of dates whenever they would leave the country. But that never actually ever happened until a random day I got a call to sub a show. I believe it was in Cancun. They had to go to Cancun, I believe it was. And I subbed the date. And oddly enough, I didn't even meet Frank at the show. We rehearsed, we played the date, and I didn't actually get to meet him until the concert was over.
Really?
Yeah, it was strange, but I understood my place, and I played my role. And post the show, his handler came and got me and said, "Mr. Beverly would like to speak to you." This is after the concert is over and everything. So I went to the dressing room and talked to him, and he said, "I'm never going to forget you. Enjoyed you," that kind of thing. And maybe 2 years went by, maybe at least a year, because I feel like this was early COVID, or right during the start of COVID. And a couple years later, I got a phone call while I was in Target, and it was the manager and Mr. Beverly, and they asked me to be a part of it. So it was a blessed experience. I got to run with them for about 2 years. And then at that point, we converted over to TMF. And we've been there since day one. And it's a beautiful thing. The music is phenomenal. It's still a great experience when we go city to city. Even when they used to come to DC, and I would just say these songs are 30, 40 years old, and they still getting 10,000 people to come out. It was just amazing to watch. So to be a part of it is wonderful.
When I interviewed him, he likened it kind of like the Grateful Dead, because he talked about how they hadn't recorded in many meetings, but they still did an amazing album.
Yeah, no matter how many times they would come through DC, and I'm sure it was the same answer for any city they went to. It just the people just showed up, and they acted like it was their first time ever hearing them songs. It was a party every single time they came to town. So so to get to be a part of that legacy and keep moving, and like I said, we just did Dave Cobb's cruise, and just to see the people, to constantly meet people from different walks of life, and they just appreciate the music and the catalog. It's a wonderful thing.
And what is one of your fondest memories playing with the band?
My fondest memory, One of my fondest memories was we played Detroit for New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought my wife and kids with me. And it was a highlight for them because after the show, he was kind enough to take a picture with the boys. And it was just a memory that, you know, they get to see Dad work, and then they get to meet the people I'm affiliated with. So that moment was special to me.
Awesome. And how about you, Joey? What was your fondest memory?
I think my fondest had to have been because I actually got the call from Daniel Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm.
We've been knowing each other for years, and the way it happened, he called me probably 2 weeks, excuse me, prior to coming out with TMF. I played a date with him in Indianapolis, and he called me back that following week or week and a half later and asked if I was available to go play New York. And
I don't think it was that soon. I feel like we played Seattle one weekend, and then the very next weekend we was in Syracuse. I mean, right? So I feel like I reached out to you like several days before we actually did that.
Right.
Yeah, it was close.
And I went in and played the date, and I mean, I was like blown away. I was a little nervous walking in, in the situation I was walking into. But it was like, wow, I'm actually on stage playing this music. So, I mean, that was something. That was something for me.
Calvin, your fondest memory?
I think probably for me is I think the very first time and which was in 2011, the first time that I played Chastain Park with Maze. The guys had always talked about that venue. It's an outdoor venue, and it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like a ritzy area, park area, in Atlanta. It's one of them bring your own coolers and that kind of thing. People they come out there, they have a good time, and it was a really big turnout for whenever Maze played there. And I think, man, that was just like probably that show, like the energy from that show and just seeing the crowd, how they responded, to, the songs and that sort of thing. And I think that was probably memorable in a stint too, because that was for me, that was the first time that I really probably understood what the song Happy Feelings meant.
Mm-hmm.
That night we started playing Happy Feelings, man. We were on stage at Chastain Park, and so we were playing, and I was like, man, and they started the song, and do 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 do, and man, this aroma was just like, I mean, this aroma, man, was in the air, and I think it probably got a hold to me, man. It was so strong. I was like,
oh, there's a certain aroma. Okay, I get it.
It's what the Happy Feelings is. But that was a great, man. That was like probably one of my funnest. That was a great experience, man. Just being in that energy and just seeing how people really reacted to Maze that night. It was incredible. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to bring the other two guys back on board as well. Rome, how about you? I know that to try to think of something over 50 years is quite a task, but anything stands out in particular for you?
Actually, it's 55 years.
Wow, 55.
Yeah, I have two. One is Essence.
Yep.
Number one would be the Live in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Essence, Sanger.
At the Sanger Theater, yeah.
Yeah. Essence, 10 consecutive years of closing that. And also in late 70s, early 80s, we played at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, wow. Out here in
Michael
Pasadena.
Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Quincy Jones. I can't remember the lineup, but there were some heavy hitters. And we had just come out with the first album, which dropped in 76. And the album was doing well. And we had just been touring and making a lot of noise. We were on that show, and after the show was over, I mean, we turned it out. We really did. This is before before I Let Go, before that came out, and all of the radio stations and all of the trades glorified us and said that Mays turned this show out, regardless who was on it. And to this day, if anyone's around that remembers that, it'll tell you the same thing. You could look it up, Google it, but that was the 3 most memorable times of my journey.
And you guys were one of the very first bands that had a song that was basically became a theme. In New Orleans, we called it the bus stop back in the day. You know, when they would Before I Let Go. That
Oh yeah, it's a Mays anthem. Anywhere you go, parties, clubs, barbecues, weddings, it doesn't matter. It's just a generational song. I mean, I understand how the kids and the generations we play and see all generations at our shows is because the parents turn the kids on to the songs. As they're growing up, they always hear Mays music.
And it also helped getting Beyonce to do that, her rendition. What was your reaction? I know that Frankie was like blown away by it. What was your reaction?
Yeah, well, she's publicly said her first concert when she was a teenager was in Houston when we played the rodeos there every year. So she's always been a Mays fan. So I wasn't surprised, but I was delighted that that was one of her favorite songs, and she covered it and also brought us a new fan base.
My daughter is 23, and because of people like Beyonce and doing that song, she knows who Mays is.
Yeah,
and her mom hearing the story about how me and her mom met, but even more so with that particular song as well.
Yeah, I mean, and it made a lot of people know about us, expose us, to that generation. Even kids, how many people love her. So we got a part of that. So it was, we thank her dearly and glad to have her as a fan.
And of course, Chris, you weren't with the group at the time, but give me one of your fondest memories just from your career or playing on the same bill with Mays.
Oh man. Actually being side stage watching them every night when I was on tour with Regina Belle, I was 19 years old, and to witness the power of the band and just Frankie killing it every single night was a joy for me. I mean, so not one particular concert stood out. All of them were amazing.
When I was doing my the release of my magazine, the one that had Frankie on the front cover of it, I had let me see, do I have that? I don't know if I have the picture or not here, but it was Frankie on the front cover of it. And we did it at a restaurant called Georgia's. It was in Hollywood on Melrose Avenue, and it was a place that Denzel Washington, Debbie Allen, Norm Nixon, they were all partners at it. And it just so happened that particular evening, I look over midway through the restaurant, and there's a man sitting there having dinner by himself. His name was Luther Vandross. And I went over to Luther and I gave him a copy of the magazine. And I was shocked when he told me Luther was in the magazine from the coverage from Essence Music Festival. So he was there, and of course Mays was there. But he told me at that time, he said, I've never met Frankie Beverly before. And I was just shocked that these two giants had never met. And I was like, well, how is it that I met Frankie and I met Luther, but the two of them had never met? But I guess a lot of times, especially with Essence, Luther would be there on a Friday night. You guys always close it out on Sunday nights. So I guess sometimes your paths just, you're on the same billing, but your paths just didn't cross.
Yeah, and that's true because we have been on tour with him several times, and I'm surprised that they've never met. And perhaps they did. Perhaps it wasn't at that particular time.
Right, since then.
But I can't say that they've never met.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that was just cool, just being able to especially those early years of the Essence Music Fest. I actually went, to be quite honest, I went 3 years in a row looking for my wife, because I was like, man, she's got to be among these 60,000 people here. And the first 2 years, Rome, I got a nibble, and the third year, I got a bite after the Maze concert. So, and believe it or not, I haven't gone back since.
Wow.
So I go home to Louisiana. In fact, I'll be going down there in a couple of weeks. I go home to New Orleans every year, but I hadn't been back to the festival. And of course, this time last year, they honored Frankie at the Essence Music Festival. I don't think he performed, but it was just seeing him sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
He looked so regal. I mean, it was like Pope-like king-like, sitting on the throne and watching all of these people admire you. What were your thoughts when you saw that? That must have been, just breathtaking, just to be able to see him get his flowers just one more time.
Yeah, it was special and well deserved. And he got a chance to appreciate hearing his music without performing it, which is always a good thing, but it was just a great time for him to get his flowers and the love that everyone was there for, just appreciate everything that he was a part of. And it was just a great time, and it was great to see him. And I'm just so thankful that I was a part of that journey, and being blessed to have known him, and being a best friend to my brother.
Well, again, it was amazing. I watched it from here on YouTube, and it was just, who knew just a few months later that he would be gone. But as I would tell people, even when I last saw him on Mother's Day of last year here in Los Angeles, there are those who were saying, oh, his voice isn't the same. And I was like, man, look, we'd give anything to hear Luther sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star just one more
Mhm.
time.
Oh,
Just Whitney sing, ABCs just one more time. So I was like, you know what? I'm here to appreciate the man and his music over the years. And I don't care if he had to cough it out. I was going to be there to see my man, Frankie Beverly. What we're going to
yeah.
do is one more quick break, and we'll come back and we'll wrap things up. Once again, everybody, I'm Eric J. Chambers. This is the CUT Chronicles, where we chronicle urban life here on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. We'll have more, but first, these words.
There would be something I would say about this, and they would, but he gets nervous and just.
Right. Yeah, you. Dang.
Oh.
KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. Again, the CUT Chronicles with Eric J. with the fellas from TMF, The Music Forever. Of course, the band formerly from Maze, and this is one of my favorite songs from them from back in the day. Look at California. And believe it or not, Rome, when I was a young teenager, when you guys did this back at the Essence, at pre-Essence, I should say, at the Sanger Theater, listening to this song, man, all I could do was just daydream about one day coming here to Southern California. So you guys really helped too. I always wanted, even as a kid growing up in the projects of New Orleans, but this song really made me want to come to California. And I want to thank you guys for that. Okay, say again.
It painted a picture, didn't it?
It sure did. And
Yeah.
it still does.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to it today, and then when Frankie said Louisiana, and then he said New Orleans, it gave me chills because I hadn't heard it in a minute. And when I heard that, man, I just was almost in tears just listening to it because, again,
no, that was a great line that he changed and turned it into Louisiana. It was a special moment. I know it brought tears to a lot of people's eyes.
absolutely. And I have some friends who went to the concert, and I was just so jealous that I couldn't afford to go to it, you know. And so, but nevertheless, the album, of course, lives forever, and I've seen the video as well. And tell us what's next for you guys as far as TMF is concerned.
See?
Okay, well, next up, we're performing in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Jazz Festival. That's next on the agenda, and then we're headed to the UK to perform at the Margate Jazz Festival. And and just so your listeners know, they can log on to tmfconcerts.com to get our schedule and to get more information about where we're appearing.
And I understand that there is right there on the crawl, tmfconcerts.com. And Chris, I understand you're joining us from France.
That is correct. I'm in Bordeaux, France at the moment, and it's like 3:49 a.m. for me.
Man, I am so thank you so much. I just got the read the text from Nell telling me that you're way on the other side of the world. My daughter was in Paris about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
So thank you so much for sacrificing some of your time just to be with us as far as your sleep is concerned. Are you performing there?
Yes, I am actually on the Rick Brown River cruise at the moment.
Okay, so do you still perform with other groups in addition to TMF?
Well, yes, because I'm a solo artist. I've had solo projects out and still do my Chris Walker music as well, but predominantly working with TMF.
He's in demand. You can't hold someone with that voice down. You just can't. He has wings on that voice. So yeah, trust me.
That is so awesome. Just a couple more quick minutes here. Rome, tell us, why did the situation with Maze, why did that end?
We actually just wanted to go in a different direction. There was different management that came in, and we were just trying to, again, move in a direction, and they weren't on the same page. Mm-hmm. So we just decided to go ahead and form TMF and continue the legacy and still be a part of the Maze culture.
And let me ask you this. What is it that you miss the most about your friend, Frankie Beverly?
Oh, wow. Just the love that he showed, not just me, because we were always a tight-knit family and band. Each band that have come in and out, it's always been a family, always. And that's due to him and being as close as he was and showing the love to individuals, family, the kids, wives, girlfriends. It was a tight-knit family, and it continues to be that even with TMF.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm so glad that you had that experience. And right now, everybody's looking to you because you're the last link. Man, you are the last link of the original, the last of the Mohicans, so to speak. And
Yeah,
so,
and I'm honored. I really am, and I'm just honored to be a part of TMF. These guys are my brothers, my best friends,
mhm.
and I just, again, they keep me young. You know, uh, I'm 76,
Oh, wow.
and being with Frank for 55 years, and now TMF, and continuing the legacy is medicine for me, along with the love that these cats give me and show me, and the respect and what I get all over the world due to the fact that I'm the original member and how much people love this band. I'm so blessed. I'm truly blessed to have everything and everyone around me because it's all love for me.
And I'll
Always.
just share one. I'll just share one thing that Rome won't tell you. You know, being the new lead singer, you know, and the new guy, you know, I usually shine the shoes, iron all the clothes. You know,
You're the shoe shine boy.
I'm the shoe shit. Look,
You're
they be
the
whipping me,
rookie.
man.
Huh?
They be whipping
You're
me.
the
I'm the
rookie.
rookie. I'm the rookie. So I'll say I'll
No,
take it. No problem. No problem.
no,
Okay.
he's joking, of course, but
Right.
it's been a wonderful, beautiful journey. And again, we're as TMF, we're so blessed. We are truly
Absolutely.
blessed, and we're going to continue to just show love to our fans and to the music. And we'll have another album coming up soon, probably next year, hopefully. Although I think the album now is a sleeper to me. I think there's a lot of people that need to hear it, and
Okay.
possibly.
Well, we've got about 20 seconds here. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the program, and we wish you the very best. And once again, people, if you want to learn more about them, go to tmfconcerts.com is the address. And we wish you the very best. And again, thank you for being a part of the CUT Chronicles on this evening. Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Congratulations
Okay.
on 31 years.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay. Stand by just a moment. Okay. Okay, we are clear for the radio, and we're just going to take another quick minute here on YouTube and on Facebook. And again, fellas, I am so delighted that you guys decided to take some time with me, and know that your music is going to continue to be played on my program. And I forgot to play a song that I was going to do if we didn't have these technical problems. Your song called Choices. I
Yeah.
debuted that on my show on Saturday.
Hmm.
Man, I love what you guys did with that, and I love the fact that you're still singing songs that have significant meaning, and it's not just gibberish, but it's stuff that make you, think about um, just in life, the
Yeah.
choices that we have to make.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I co-wrote that with Chris and Daniel.
Okay,
Yeah. Lovely song. And then it's for everyone. I mean, isn't it choices in life? That's all. That's what it's about, actually. It's yours. It's really solely yours. Yeah.
that's right. That's what life is about. It's about making choices, and it's up to us. Let's just see if we got a couple of quick questions before you guys go. If you have a couple of quick questions that you would like to ask the men of TMF, now is the time. Put it in the comments section here, And in the meantime, I will share some of the others. Here, Pat Glaster says, "This is so awesome. I'm really enjoying and learned so much about a great that I love. That is awesome." And then Ethel Rucker says, "Congratulations on your new album. And I've been listening to it on Spotify.
Mm.
And like I said, that choice is, and then also I love what you guys did with the remake of Joy and Pain there in Houston. So that was awesome.
All right.
And where do you live, Rome? You're in the
I'm
DC?
in Northern Virginia.
Okay. Northern Virginia. How about you, Calvin?
I'm in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay. Winston-Salem. Okay. And Daniel, where are you?
From
DC.
Oh, say again. Say again.
I'm in Maryland, right
Okay.
outside DC.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And then Joy is at, and Joy, where are you from? Where do you live?
he's from
Chi-Town.
yeah.
Oh, okay, still in Chicago. Okay.
And Bear is also from Chicago.
That's right. Well, ironically, Bear is the one who connected me with you guys. I met Bear at the NAMM show here in Anaheim, which is about 6-7 miles from where I live. And I met him several years ago. And I had texted him something recently. I think it was one of the little kitty videos that's floating on Facebook right now with the, did you see those with Frankie Beverly?
Yeah.
The little baby Frankie?
Yeah.
You know, and then he asked when was I going to have you guys on the show, and I was like, you know what, we thought about it, and I was like, okay, this would be a good time to commemorate my 31st anniversary of the Jazzspel. Again, I started at KIFM Smooth Jazz 98.1 in San Diego, and I've seen you guys perform there before. And Marcus Wow Style.
Yeah.
Not by name. I don't know.
Marcus is one of the promoters that he's part of the Black Promoters Collective.
Yeah, we're familiar with him. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he usually would keep me abreast of things. And last year when you were here in LA, I, played some of the spots on the radio program to celebrate you guys. But again, fellas, again, I appreciate you big time. And let me see. Okay, here's a question here for the new. This is from my friend Lacora that was on Facebook. It says, for the new album coming out next year for TMF, is there one particular artist that you would like to collaborate with? And this could be a singer or a musician.
Wow. You know what? We'd have to give that some thought.
I saw an interview with Frankie B one time, and he talked about he would have loved to have performed with Sade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's true. In fact, that would be a package that we would love to do. We tried to get it together, but the management, for some reason, we couldn't pull it off. But what a great package that would have been.
Okay. Yeah, because she's one of my all-time favorites as well, and I've had a chance to see her on a couple of occasions. And so, but nevertheless, we certainly are,
She's a big Maze fan, too. Yeah.
Is she?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Who else is a big fan that surprised you?
I don't think.
Or basically, it's probably the question.
Yeah, I just, the music is what it is, and I can't imagine anyone listening to it and not getting something out of it that they enjoy. But to listen to it and say absolutely not is someone that isn't into either R&B, it's not their genre. It would be something of that nature. But I don't know. What about you cats? What would you say?
Chris, who would you like to collaborate with?
Oh my goodness. It would be nice to collaborate with someone from the younger generation. I the Rihannas of the world, even the Beyoncés of the world. I mean,
Mhm.
she's, but just to get their spin and their take on it would be nice. And plus, of course, we're both from Houston, so that would be nice too.
Have you had a chance
Yeah.
to meet her yet?
Yes, I've met Beyonce before. Mhm.
Okay,
When she
cool.
was when they part of Destiny's Child. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that would. But I'm so sorry that history cheated us from hearing Frankie B and Sade together. Man, that would have been so awesome. That would have been for the ages there,
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
especially when you have someone of that magnitude and they are fans of your music,
Hmm.
and to be able to, perform with. Have you ever met her, Rome?
No, I haven't. I haven't, but I'm hoping because we'll be overseas quite a bit in the near future. Uh, Knowing that she's a fan, maybe she'll come to one of the shows. And even better, if we could do a show there as a package, do some work overseas together. But we'll see.
Well, she's another one of those who doesn't record a whole lot, but when she does come out, she can pack the places as well. So that I think that's fantastic when you have that kind of music and you haven't recorded in a long time, and
Hmm.
people still come in droves to see you. But I
Yeah,
don't know if there'll ever be, another, Maze with what you guys did, man. That is for the books.
yeah. There's just a few people that are that unique. Sade was one of them. Uh, Frank, another one. He'll be missed but never forgotten. You know what a iconic, legendary figure, a treasure to us all, a treasure, true treasure.
Absolutely. Okay, well, again, it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Mr. Rome, King Rome, because you are now sitting on the the king of the Maze Mountain right
I don't
now.
know about the
You're it,
king, but
man.
Rome is good. Yeah,
You are it, and it's such a delight, like I say, being able to finally meet you, and then also the rest of the fellas there. Thank you guys for carrying on this legacy with your TMF music. Of course, you're blazing new trails with your own music, but at the same time, you're carrying along this legacy for Frankie, and we need that. We need that because there have been other guys who've been frontmen for bands like for instance Zapp and Roger Troutman, and of course
hmm
Roger died, but Zapp is still doing their thing, and it's a great thing that you guys are still doing yours. So, final thoughts from each of you, beginning with you, Mr. Calvin.
As far as with TMF,
Yeah, just your final thoughts tonight.
yeah, yeah, man. We just want to, and I think I can, I know I can probably speak for everybody, but we just want to continue, man, making music that that's timeless, man, and that people can relate to. Like you said, um, you heard choices and it resonated with you, because it speaks of like, the times it went. It just kind of makes you think, and we want to keep making music, man. That's relatable, that people can relate to, and that's timeless. That feels good. That's what's missing in the music industry, and I believe that's what's been missing for a long time. And we just want to keep that same vibe, man. That same whole that maze, just that timeless feel
Well,
good.
the beauty of it is this: your music with Maze and TMF is you guys sing about love and not about sex.
Yeah,
right.
As a result of that, it can be played anywhere.
yeah,
And of course, for years I've been playing I Want to Thank You. And Frankie
Hmm.
actually confirmed it to me when I interviewed him. He was like, "Oh, yes, that's a gospel song. We're
Yeah.
singing to the Lord."
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that's what we're all about, man. We're all believers, you know what I'm saying? And and that's what we're about. It comes across through the music, and it resonates with people, and that's the goal.
Well, we have the best of both worlds with you guys because I was looking at a video recently of Frankie from last year,
Yeah.
and they were pouring the love on him, and he was there with hands lifted up,
Yeah.
Hmm.
just thanking God.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So Okay, how about you, Joey? Final thoughts?
You there, Joey?
Is Joey still there?
I think he's having technical difficulties.
Okay, how about you, Chris?
Sure. Final thought. I'm just truly honored and grateful to God for the opportunity to continue the legacy and the music of Frankie and Maze through TMF. And we need as much positivity in the world as possible. Certainly right now during these challenging times in life. And of course, Frankie and Maze's music. It takes you back to that moment in time when you first heard it, and it just puts you in a good mood, and it puts a smile on your face and some joy in your heart. And that's our goal as TMF as we travel around the world to continue that and uplifting people and putting smiles on their faces and joy in their hearts as well.
That's awesome. And of course, you, Mr. Rome, final thoughts.
Yeah, I want to first thank you. Appreciate you. We really do, man. And we don't take that for granted. Thank you for the Bear connection, because here we are having a great interview with you. Thank you for that. Again, we just want to do what we do best as far as the music, and spread a feeling of joy. That's what we want and live for through our music, just to touch people, leave our concerts smiling and joyful and happy. There's no other rewarding feeling than that. Trust me. And showing the love, giving the love through our music, and seeing that people are going home happy, and that feeling, you can't beat it. And I think we can all agree to that.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
that's nothing but a give and take of love.
Well, fellas, know that you have a fan in me, an advocate here. And like I said, I'm starting to get to know more about the TMF music, beginning with choices. So that's going to be a part of my regular playlist here. And we're in
Thank
top
you.
25 market here in the Riverside, San Bernardino area. And in fact, ironically, the radio market is larger than New Orleans and Kansas City and Atlanta and various others. People sleep on it. We're a sub
Oh,
of
wow.
LA, but we have
Mhm.
people that listen all over the country and all over the world, and of course watching this. And just one last thing, as an advocate of yours, the Long Beach Jazz Festival is coming up, I think next month in August. And I called the promoter, and we talked about 3 weeks ago, and I called her again today. I was trying to get you guys on that card, you know. And so but I tell you what, I'm going to be doing my best to make sure that some of the promoters that I know that have events out here, that we bring you guys back out here to Southern California, because we need you guys here. Yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff in the South and on the East Coast,
Mhm.
but Southern California needs some TMF
And
for.
we'd,
Yes,
we'd love
indeed.
that.
Yes, indeed.
We'd love that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you to the fans, everybody who tune in to tonight's program. And of course, be sure to tune into my Jazzspel radio show every Saturday beginning at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. Until we meet again, God bless you, God bless me, God bless the brothers of TMF, the group formerly known as Maze.
You take care. Big love.
All right. Thank you. Much love to you guys.
Yes, sir.
God
As
bless.
well.
All right.